Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Welcome to A-Level Maths live lesson. Today we're looking at subtracting algebraic fractions, and I need to squeeze a T in there. And it follows on from yesterday's lesson where I showed you a method on adding algebraic fractions. Today it's the same method but subtracting the algebraic fractions. No need to really teach you a new method, but you do need to revise how to multiply out, expand brackets when there's a negative in front. So let's go with a couple of easy examples. If you could just try these ones, just try to expand out these three. Remember, expand means to multiply, and you're multiplying everything in the bracket with what's on the outside. And the difficulty here is that on the outside it's not just 3 but minus 3. So see if you can figure out what's going to happen when you multiply minus 3 with each of the things inside the bracket. When you're ready with the answers, just type them into the chat window. Okay, hopefully that was enough time to have a go at one or two of them. So starting with the first one, minus 3 gets multiplied by y, that's minus 3y. And then the same minus 3 gets multiplied by the 2, and that's minus 6. So this one would work out to be minus 3y minus 6. Notice here that you've got a plus in the middle, but the plus kind of gets overridden by the minus, so it's minus times a plus, which will make a minus. The minus tends to win anytime it comes across a plus, it tends to win. It's only when two minuses come together you'll see a plus. Next one, a minus on the outside. If it's easier, you could think of that as a minus 1. Think of that as a minus 1. You don't, with a bit of practice, you won't have to put that 1 in there, but just to start off with, think of that as a minus 1. And then times each thing by minus 1, and you'll end up with minus 4y plus 5, because minus 1 times minus 5 is plus 5. And the last one, I'm just going to put a squared on there. And just see how well you did on that. Good, just be careful when there's just a minus on the outside, and that's really just minus 1. So nothing changes except what was positive becomes negative and what was negative becomes positive. So good that you practiced that because you're going to now need it. So the method yesterday, if we take any two fractions and let's throw the algebra in there, you should be comfortable having practiced it yesterday. So first fraction is 4 over x plus 1. Let's go with another fraction of 5 over x minus 2. And yesterday we were adding them using the cross and the smile method, but this time we're going to subtract and use the same method. It's exactly the same method. So the cross and the smile, if you remember, tells you what to multiply. So we're going to take the cross, which tells us to multiply the 4 with the x minus 2, the 5 with the x plus 1, and then the smile tells us we're going to need to multiply the x plus 1 with the x minus 2. Let's make some space for the answer. And it's going to have to be quite long. Got a lot to fit there, especially on the top. And just before I start multiplying the x plus 1, to make it easier, just put it in brackets. The x minus 2, put that in brackets. And then comes the cross. Multiply the 4 with the x minus 2. Multiply the 5 with the x plus 1. And then the smile tells us to multiply the bottom two together. Let's do one of those three things first. So the 4 times the x minus 2. Then it's minus because there's a minus in the middle. And then the cross is telling us to do 5 times the x plus 1. That's the cross done. And now the smile is x plus 1 times x minus 2, which can just be written like that. And now we just want to keep the bottom bit as it is. No need to rewrite that. But we do want to write the top bit out in a way that's much simpler. So here's where what you practiced at the beginning is going to come in. So expanding out the top, 4x minus 8, that's the easy bit. But can you do the next bit? So it's minus 5, which is at the beginning of the second bracket, being multiplied by the x and the plus 1. So what would you get? Can you type into the chat window what you think you'll get? You should be okay at this because you practiced it a bit. But when I expand out the minus 5 bracket x plus 1, what will I get? A little bit shy today. So we'll go with the minus 5 times the x, that's minus 5x. And then the minus 5 times the 1 is minus 5. And then you're looking at that and you're thinking, well, hold on, the 4x and the minus 5x, that can be simplified. That would just make minus x. So I can take out that and just put minus x. And then the minus 8 take away 5, we can make that minus 13. And it's not liking me today, so let me try a different way of just moving that across. And then the brackets that we had at as the denominator at the bottom bit, that can stay as it is. No need to expand that out. And there's your answer. That's how we're using the same method. We had the takeaway in the middle, not a plus, so it just means you have to be a little bit more careful. A little bit more careful when it comes to multiplying out the brackets at the top. Okay, I'll leave that there. So your turn. See if you can practice. See if you can do one yourself. Let's give you a nice hard one. 5 over 2x minus 1. Subtract 3 over x minus 2. Have a go. See if you can use the same method. Be careful with the algebra, and we'll take a look at your answer in about 2 minutes. inshallah, if God wills. Hopefully you remembered to put some brackets in. Okay, and the cross and the smile to help you just remember which bit to multiply with which bit. And then work left to right, and it's 5 times the x minus 2 minus the 3 times the 2x minus 1. That's your top. And then the smile telling you what to put at the bottom. So hopefully the beginning of your working out should have looked something like that. And then try to work on the top. Try to really simplify that in a very careful manner. So when you're ready, type into the chat window, what do you think you'll have on the top? The bottom's obvious. Hopefully that's easy enough. But the top, can you simplify that? You're going to have 5x minus 10 minus, or is it a plus? Have a look. It's minus 3 times 2x. So that's minus 6x. Minus 3 times minus 1, that's plus 3. And then you've got to simplify that. 11x minus 13 from Aisha. Well, let's take a look. The minus 3 times the 2x, that's a minus 6x. The beginning was a positive 5x. So just think again, it's not 11x. It's going to be different to 11x. Have another go. 5x, take away the 6x. Have another go. And no need to multiply out the denominator. You can just leave it as two brackets multiplying each other. But the top, you must get the top right. Minus 1, minus 1x, you mean. So minus 1x, which can be written as minus x. And then you've got minus 10 plus the 3. Just simplify that and then write out what you think you'll have on the top. Okay, not as fast today, no problem. Minus 10 plus 3 would simplify to minus 7. So you'd end up with minus x, minus 7 on the top, and 2x minus 1, x minus 2 on the bottom. Okay, well done. Try practicing that. We are going through a textbook that I have shown you in the past, but I'll just show you again. If I log into my CGP account, give me a second. So the book we're working through is Edexcel A-Level Year 1 AS Pure Maths. So you should now be able to do the section on adding and subtracting algebraic fractions. Have a go and see how you do. Just a reminder that you should be working through one chapter every 2 weeks. So we are currently on chapter 3 algebra, and so the week, if you say this week and next week, by the end of next week, you should have worked through all the practice questions in there. Don't wait for me to go through them, but you should be reading the examples and working through them at the pace of one chapter per 2 weeks. So one more week to get through the algebra chapter and try to keep up. Otherwise, you'll find that it just gets too much and you're not going to be ready for the exam. Okay, inshallah, thanks for joining me today. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be with you and the blessings of God.